Today's podcast is sponsored by the Perturbed Dragon Tavern. It says here that this establishment serves only the finest real ale and the best meat pies this side of Grim Harbour. Well, I can tell you that I visited this establishment a number of times a few years ago. I was part of a gaming group, but we had a falling out that was never resolved. Anyway, their beer tastes like bottled water, and their cocktail selection is almost non-existent. I'm fairly sure that their meat pies are made from rat meat. I was terribly ill after eating one. Anyway, if you feel you have to visit this festering hovel of a tavern, you'll find it just outside the western gate of Thorniston's Hale, the Perturbed Dragon Tavern. Who even comes up with these names? It's ridiculous.
Hello. Welcome to Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. Peter, did you like the way I just did the intro? I thought I'd add a little bit of flair and drama to it.
Not like.
Oh dear. Oh well.
Never mind.
Well, I, as always, am your host, Morrus, aka Russ, or Russ, aka Morrus, and with me is my invisible yet dutiful co-host,
Peter Coffey from the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. Russ, as always, delighted to be here.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Russ.
How's your week been?
Yes.
What in the world of RPGs has caught your eyes, or ears, or nose, or other senses in the last week?
Well, something that's been quite interesting is that in my club, the Southampton Guild of Roleplayers, we've actually we run it on a season system. So rather than just running until the GMs break under the strain of having to do 2 or 3 years at a time, we say, you know what, see if you can tell a story in 6 weeks, which is about 18 hours, which is a lot more than the BBC gives most of their storytelling capabilities.
Sure.
So what has happened is that one DM has pretty much finished a story arc and has gone on to other things, but another GM has decided to take up that, who was a player in that game, has decided to take up that system and also the players and keep the continuity going. Right. So we were a bit, we don't know what to make of this. And we decided, well, actually, it was quite flattering because clearly the game was interesting enough for someone to want to take it on, and we treat it like a change of director.
Out of curiosity, what was it?
Firefly, using the Cortex rules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what can I say? Firefly not cancelled after 1 season.
So you are not Fox, in other words.
Well, indeed. One chap is Fox and the other's Universal, so we're doing all right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that is relevant, actually, yeah. So what's caught your eye, Russ?
Something televisual.
Oh, yeah.
So you know the Big Bang Theory?
I'm aware of its work.
The television show. A sitcom.
Sitcom is situational comedy, and I struggle to describe the Big Bang Theory as comedy.
Well, okay, I like it. That's not the point, anyway. Though we're not here to review the Big Bang Theory.
I'm not here to judge you for your awful taste in TV programs.
What I was going to say is, they've played D&D on the Big Bang Theory lots and lots and lots of times.
Okay,
but it's usually just sort of like a scene where it's just the background to a conversation they're having. They're doing a whole D&D themed episode. It's in its final season. The show now.
Okay, yeah.
And they've got some big guest stars for it.
Ooh.
And so in this episode, there's going to be...
They've got Vin Diesel, Judi Dench, Will Wheaton.
They've got Will Wheaton.
Hey.
They've got William Shatner.
Okay.
They've got Joe Manganiello.
Joe the Unpronounceable.
Yes.
Awesome chap.
Kevin Smith.
Oh, yeah. What, the director?
Director and actor.
Actor, yes.
And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is a basketball.
Yeah. Has he not been on something as well?
I don't know.
No, I'm probably thinking of a different one.
I'm not really familiar with basketball, but so I'd never heard of him before. I had to look him up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But there's no date for it yet. But they're pretty much halfway through the final season now, so it can't be that far off.
Okay.
I would like to see him Shatner.
So for those of you who are listening at home, Russ caused me to almost spurt a glorious arc of tea all over his living room, which would defeat the decluttering purpose.
Well, to be fair, the state of the floor isn't great right now. Look at those paw prints.
There's a lot of muddy paw prints. No, those aren't Russ's. If you're joining us for the first time, those belong to Django, his dog.
No, I have hooves, obviously.
Well, yeah, obviously, like but it's like bifurcated or trifurcated hooves, completely different tracks.
Yes. Anyway, should we do some news?
Yes, let's.
All right then. So, first bit of news, the most important bit of news in my eyes, although maybe not in everyone else's, but certainly in my eyes.
Is it the Pathfinder 2 playtest?
No. It is Judge Dredd in the world of 2000 AD. If you've been waiting to get your hands on it.
Oh.
So the Kickstarter backers had the PDF last October. So it's been 3 months.
Yes.
So it's finally time to make the PDF available to the general public.
Exciting.
No hardbacks yet, because obviously the Kickstarter backers have to get theirs.
Yes.
And they're getting theirs over the next month or so. But you can buy the PDF version now of the core rules. You can buy the PDF version of the Robot Wars Adventure Stroke Sourcebook.
Okay.
And you can buy the PDF version of the counter token set. You get them all now. And also, if you do buy the PDF version in advance now, and you're waiting for the print, if you're going to buy the print version off Drive-Thru-RPG, and this only works if you buy it off Drive-Thru-RPG, but then you can only get the PDF off me. So that makes sense in my head, what I just said. I'm sure it makes sense to somebody somewhere.
You said several words there, yeah.
Right. If you buy the PDF at Drive-Thru-RPG...
Check.
And you intend to buy the hardcover later, when it becomes available at Drive-Thru-RPG...
Check.
You will get sent a coupon discounting the value of the PDF from the price of the hardcover.
So you're just paying for the hardcover?
Yeah, because what we always do is when you buy a hard copy of a thing on Drive-Thru-RPG, the PDF's free, always.
Of course.
And frankly, if you bought a hard copy of one of our things by any other means which doesn't have that functionality, like a shop,
yes,
or Amazon or something like that, you can always contact us and we'll do it manually and send you something.
Yeah, so you're part of the bricks and mortar scheme.
We're not part of the bricks and mortar
scheme. You're
scheme.
not part of the bricks and mortar scheme.
Though maybe we shall be.
Okay, the bricks and mortar scheme, for those who don't
spirit.
know. Yeah, spiritually you approve of what they're doing, even if you're not formally part of it.
Yeah.
The bricks and mortar scheme, of course, being where many friendly local game stores, if you buy a hard copy, not necessarily hardcover, I think, but just any copy, a physical copy of a book, will help hook you up with the PDF, provided, of course, the publisher supports this, which I think is absolutely fantastic.
Anyway.
We digress.
Yes, we do digress.
Judge
Dredd is available now. You can go and buy it right now.
Ah, excellent. You can get your hands on that sweet Judge Dredd action.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, and the worlds of 2000 AD.
And the worlds of 2000 AD.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Did you know that finally your dream has come true? The thing that you have been waiting for all those many years of your life. Finally now, you can have a D&D notebook.
That is different from what I was expecting. I must admit, I'm a little disappointed. But I'll try and soldier through. Go on, tell me about this D&D notebook.
So it's it's a notebook.
Interesting. Is it perchance D&D themed in cover?
Yes. So I have a picture of it here. So it's called the Dungeons and Dragons Bestiary Notebook Set, and it's coming out in October.
October of 2019.
Yes.
So in approximately 8 months now.
Yes.
Right.
And it includes 8 mini notebooks.
8 mini
So
notebooks.
you can write notes in. But the exciting thing about them is each one on the cover features a different monster, and inside you'll find stats and a brief history.
Okay, right.
You don't look in...
I'm sure it sounds...
I thought actually it wasn't a terrible idea. Sort of if you've got a gaming group and you want an inexpensive Christmas, you could buy a set of those because there's 8 of them, and just give everyone just a little notebook. Nice cheap little present, gaming themes.
Yeah, that
Not
could
going to
work.
break the bank.
No, it's been quite reasonable. A notebook with D&D stuff. Fantastic.
But that's not all.
There's more.
Oh God, I can see the excitement on your face.
Go on, hit me,
You
Billy
are
Mays.
literally shaking with
What's
excitement.
going on?
Okay, you can also get something called a Book of Holding.
Bum, bum, bum.
And you know what that is?
Is it a book you can put things in?
It's a book that you can write in. It is a D&D journal.
So it's sort of a book of writing.
So it says each section of the journal is filled with gridded or lined pages, and it includes 5 spreads of interstitial artwork and a back pocket for storing character sheets and notes.
Oh, that does sound quite nice. I do like a good journal.
So yeah,
Yes.
two lovely notebooks and journals.
Yes, fulfilling all your D&D stationery related needs.
Yes.
What?
That look on your face is, what can I tell you? What can I tell you?
Well, at least it's not a lunchbox, eh?
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever heard of the mountain goats?
I have seen mountain goats.
But the mountains, not mountain goats in general, but the mountain goats.
Are they famous for having one leg shorter than the other?
To be fair, I hadn't heard of them until the other day either. They are, in fact, a American rock band.
Okay.
And they have announced a new album, which is called In League with Dragons. It's inspired by Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
It's coming out on April the 26th. And they're doing a sort of premiere performance of it at Wizards of the Coast.
Nice. That's going to give them a lot more publicity than they would otherwise receive. So what's this? What's the name of the album again?
It's called In League with Dragons.
In League
I'm
with
not really
Dragons.
sure what sort of style of music they do. I'm not that familiar. When I say not that familiar, I'm not familiar with them at all.
I imagine perhaps folk or poker. That's what's popular with young people
I
nowadays.
think if I look at the album cover there, you can see the.
There's a dragon that appears to have beams coming out of its wings, or maybe it's been shot. I don't know.
I don't know, and it's
I'd say
breathing
big holes
fire.
in wings.
Yeah. I'd say that looks a bit folky or prog rocky or something. I don't know.
It could literally be anything.
Yes, it could be. But anyway, if D&D inspired music is your jam, I've never said is your jam in my life before, and I probably never will again. Then there you go. There's an album coming out for you in April.
D&D music coming out in April.
Yes.
You heard it here probably first.
I
maybe.
expect I'll check it out. I'm mildly curious.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Why not?
Each to their own, that's what I say.
Yeah.
In League with Dragons by the Mountain Goats. Good times.
Yeah. The D&D Sage Advice Compendium, maintained by Jeremy Crawford over on the site,
Yes.
has been updated.
There are more clarifications.
There are more clarifications.
Remind me, how long has D&D been out now?
This version of it, 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years of clarifications in various tweets, all in one handy book.
Yeah. Well, it's been updated with, it's not a massive number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, which I've conveniently listed on my website.
Fantastic. Yeah. Any highlights?
Not really. Let's have a look. We got, can a Dragonborn sorcerer with a draconic bloodline have 2 different times of draconic ancestry? Do the benefits of bardic inspiration and the guidance spell stack?
Yeah.
Can a monk use stunning strike with an unarmed strike, even though unarmed strikes aren't weapons?
Oh, I don't know. I think the kind of bound and gagged druid simply use wild shape to get out. Yes, it is quite hard to capture someone who can turn into a mouse at will.
Is there a hard limit on how many short rests characters can take in a day, or is this purely up to the DM to decide? Well, I would personally say there's definitely a hard limit of 24.
Yeah. If you're doing more than 24 short rests in one adventuring day, you may be over-resting.
You may be a time traveller. And other questions along those lines.
Okay.
I won't list them all.
Yeah.
And,
Okay. Yet more clarifications. How exciting.
yes. Yeah. Gen Con
Yeah.
have a new mascot.
Oh, really? What was your mascot?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they've got a new one. And it is a dragon, as you can see.
Oh, yes. What's it? A big 4-legged dragon. Red, obviously. Big horns.
Anyway, the new mascot is
Yes.
and
is
they
dragon.
want Twitter
Yes.
to name it.
So, Dragon McDragonface.
Can't possibly go wrong.
After all, every time we ask the general public what they think, they always give us great answers with no drawbacks whatsoever.
Gen Con has declared that the not only will the tweet with the most likes be chosen, Gen Con do say it is subject to their approval. So they're going to eliminate, I presume, any silly.
Yes. In fact. Oh, yes. Oh,
Although
Draco McFireface.
yeah, that was Daryl's suggestion. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's a terrible idea for a mascot. It's a mascot after all. You can have a silly name, surely.
I've seen that dragon does not lend itself to being taken lightly. Like, it's not a fluffy dragon.
Depends how big it is.
That's true. If it was cat size.
That's 1-to-1 size. That picture.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's the size of a large mouse.
Yeah, well, not a large mouse. We're talking, I don't know, maybe a particularly feisty guinea pig. If guinea pigs could fly and breathe fire. Yeah. So what would you call a guinea pig-sized dragon? Yes. I don't know. Tyrannax, the all-devouring.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something along those lines. Robotech. New role-playing game using Savage Worlds, announced by Battlefield Press.
Oh, that's a bold move. Is that for compatibility with the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition?
I would assume so. It literally says the campaign sourcebook will require the Savage Worlds core rulebook, but it doesn't say which one specifically. I would assume it makes sense.
Okay.
Includes stats for notable characters, background events that are happening during the setting, and spaceships and gear, all done in Savage Worlds game information.
Okay, interesting. So they've clearly noticed that the 35th anniversary of Battletech has popped up.
What else do we have in the news? Brief bit of information about NordCon. Steve
NordCon.
Jackson Games Convention we mentioned the other week.
Yep.
We now know it's taking place from April 6th to the 7th at the TCEA Conference Center in Austin, TX. Is that
Texas. Austin, Texas, yes.
I hate it when Americans do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they all mean.
No.
Where are we? The convention will be limited to 250 people because they say we want to give our attendees a really memorable experiences. Cost you $40 and you get a swag bag.
That's limiting it to 250 people?
Yeah, it's a small convention.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty tiny. Okay.
Yeah. That's probably it for the news then.
Exciting.
Yeah, it was, newstastic.
Yes.
I was actually thinking, I did want to ask our listeners thing about...
Oh, yes, yeah.
Segments.
Oh, yes.
If you think about the way we do our podcast...
Yes.
We start off with...
An introduction.
Yeah, then things that caught our eye.
Yes.
Then we do the news.
Yes.
Then we do the Kickstarter game.
Yes.
We do a sketch.
Yes.
Then we do the main topic.
Yeah.
And sometimes the order of those varies a bit, but basically that's it.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if our listeners had any ideas of segments we could do. We always want to keep it fun. So
Yes.
a short little segment that wouldn't take us more than like a few minutes, and which was fun, which we could sort of intersperse. Yeah, it could be fun if anyone can think of one.
Yeah, if there's anything that you would like us to see us cover, we'll give it a go and say thank you very much.
So just email us at morruspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. Or obviously there is also the Discord.
Or go find us on Discord or find us on our Facebook page.
We do have all of those. It's Morris's unofficial podcast page. That's on Facebook.
Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
Morris's unofficial...
Same as the name as the podcast. The Discord is the same name as the podcast as well. This cunning plan I had is to name things all the same thing so people could find. I thought that was clever.
That doesn't sound like you, Russ. I'm wondering who you are and if you've done it all, Russ Morrissey.
And also there's links to all of them on the podcast website.
Yes, which is what? morris.podbean.com.
Yes.
Yes, that's MORRUS.
Or you can tweet me at Morris.
Yes.
Lots and lots of ways. Anyway, if you have any ideas, there you go.
Yeah, or if you just want to say, hey, cool podcast, please let us know because not enough people do.
Anyway, moving on.
Swiftly on.
Would you like to play our favourite game?
Okay, I'll go get a deck of cards.
You won't need a deck of cards for this one, I'm afraid, Peter.
We're not playing Snap?
We are not playing Snap.
Well, what are we doing then?
We are playing a game where I tell you the name of a podcast and you try and guess what it is from just the name.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. We should play that.
We should play that. Let's do that. Although I would like to make a little call out to our good friend Shane Stacks.
Hey, Shane.
Who's been posting links to RPG podcasts in our Discord.
Thanks, Shane.
Which means the ones that he's posted I now can't include in the game because you've seen them. So, if you are using our Discord, try to avoid the whole posting links to podcast thing.
No,
not podcasts.
I'm not
Kickstarters. What have I been saying podcasts?
You have been saying podcasts.
I meant Kickstarters.
But yeah, I don't think you should censor the readers from posting Kickstarters. Not that this will make my part in this game much easier. But it does mean that it will make it harder for us to shout out the Kickstarters that you do post in the Discord. So yeah, what can you do? But certainly, if you want to talk about it, always more than happy to. I like the one he posted earlier, which was a character creation for 5th Ed D&D, which was essentially you could have like big lists of different things. That was a way to create balanced new races and species and so forth. So yeah, that seems promising.
All right, are you ready to play the game?
Very well. Oh, And here has an additional stipulation. How about, this is a crazy idea, we try doing podcast, you got me doing it now.
Yes.
Crazy stipulation, we do Kickstarters that end after the podcast goes out. Mm-hmm. What do you reckon?
No, I think that's a terrible idea.
No. Hear me out. Let's try this. Let's try it. Yeah.
Right then, number 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you on the edge of your seat? Actually, you are literally.
I couldn't be any further on the edge of my seat without actually being off it.
That should be funny.
But now I'd just be crouching. That wouldn't be as good luck.
Anyway,
More Slavic.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1.
Woo.
What is
Yes.
Volcania? The Volcania.
Well, I'm hoping it's a role-playing game involving volcanoes.
VUL, not VOL. Vulcan as in Spock. IA.
Yeah, Vulcan has in the Roman name for Hephaestus, the smith of the gods, who's associated with crafting and volcanoes. So Volcania would be a land where it is set. I'm going to say like sort of a European/Italian vibe. There'll be like, I guess, probably not strictly fantasy, because if you're going to go with Vulcan, then I'm hoping for like maybe some sort of steampunk-esque style or steampunk adjacent major technocracy, that sort of thing. Basically, like not proper sci-fi per se, but sort of set in the past, but with more technology. So like sort of that 18th century vibe-ish in a pseudo-Italy, nowhere specificville. And I'm hoping for a big-ass volcano.
I will give you
Yes.
80 points out of 87.
Oh, that's remarkably accurate.
That's rather good.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you that you were wrong, and it is in fact a game where everybody plays Spock, but I decided that was a very, very poor joke and won't make.
Yes.
Probably for the best. Isn't it?
Strong choice. Ross.
Yeah.
Strong choice.
So like you said, it's a
Yes. What do I get?
it's a fantasy steampunk game.
I would play a fantasy steam poker game. I would be there. I'd be like, yeah, poker will never die. Shout out to all you Harry Dresden fans.
So fantasy steampunk, a new D12 system.
D12.
You can be an adventurer, a soldier, a scientist, or a scoundrel.
Okay. So 4 classes, you say, including.
Well, I don't know if you could only be those. Those are certainly 4 examples of things you can do.
Yes.
It doesn't say one way or the other. I couldn't.
No.
It's a big old book, 450 pages.
Woo.
Full colour.
Nice.
Hardcover, obviously.
Natch.
It looks gorgeous.
Okay.
Look at that. And yeah, like exactly like I said, D12 system, fantasy steampunk, action, conspiracy, and investigation.
And when does the Heroes of Volcania... Do we have any exciting pictures or cover art or anything like that?
There's one rather nice picture there.
Okay, so it's like sort of people drawn in almost a animated style?
Yeah.
No, anime, I want to say. No, it's not anime. Comic book. Anyway, what's next?
Oh yeah, the next one is
Yes.
Dice Roll Denizens.
This sounds like a procedurally generated game where you do an entirely procedurally generated dungeon or something like that. So I'm saying dungeon because denizens, but that's sort of the constraint on the design thing that you would need to make it interesting. Or, sorry, when I say interesting, I mean possible to implement. So, yeah, randomly generated everything for quick play, maybe GM-less. How about that?
It is not bad.
Okay.
It's a collection of prompts
Right.
that lets you create over 100 detailed fantasy NPCs in minutes, all by rolling the dice.
So it's pretty procedurally generated, is what you're saying.
But it's just NPCs, and it's not a GM-less RPG or any of that stuff.
Oh, I was just hoping for that. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so Dungeon Denizens, it's what, when does that end?
That ends Friday, February the 8th.
Friday, February 8th. This coming Friday.
It's coming Friday.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, that's just come out. If you want to, you can get in and have your own randomly generated NPCs.
Next one. So you're at 0 so far.
Okay.
0 points.
Okay.
That black hole is looming.
That's all right. I've got the Doctor on speed dial.
The Savage Sign.
You see, because when you use the word savage, that immediately makes me hope for Savage Worlds.
That is the only documented use of the word savage.
Apart from Doc Savage, Mao Bronze. But yeah, we won't quibble, Ross. We're friends here. No, I don't know, I'm interested. So, Savage Sign. What I would click through hoping for that to be would be a... well, it's like you've got Savage Worlds, so I'm saying, yeah, Savage Worlds. And Sign makes me think Elder Sign, so I'd be hoping for some sort of Call of Cthulhu adjacent. So Savage Worlds meets Call of Cthulhu has a game. Because they've done Action Cthulhu. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Savage Worlds meeting like the signs of the old gods. How about that?
I will give you 4.
Okay.
So 4 for getting Savage Worlds.
Woohoo!
What it is a new publication. This is the Savage Sign number 1, in fact, which contains...
It's Savage what, sorry?
Savage Sign number 1.
Okay, yeah.
It is for Savage Worlds. It contains comics, creature features, fiction, savage tales, savage settings, maps, character options, gear, settings rules, creature features, all sorts of stuff. A 6-page comic. So it's like it looks like it's kind of a grab bag, Savage Worlds
Stuff.
Right.
Okay. So like what, creatures and sort of a smorgasbord of content for the Savage Worlds role-playing system. Have we got anything left?
We have another.
Okay.
Ambient music for D&D Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Now, I'll tell you what that is. That's an amazing title. I'm hoping that if I click through on that, I will get a carefully curated list of tracks which will provide maybe even original compositions, if we're lucky. I mean, or they might already have existing music out there, but that would be suitable to listen to whilst... and I have like maybe some special effects in there as well. Just like, you know, some really atmospheric things, because there's about 20 odd levels, something like that, for Dungeons of the Mad Mage, and you've got like a number of tracks, so you can like listen to those. Even better, like several tracks for each level, just so you could have them on while you're playing through them, and then they can all like be vaguely themed to like the various things. So like maybe some sea shanty style ones to the bits with the ship. That's what I'd be hoping for if I clicked through.
Well, what it is it's a sci-fi RPG set in the far future around the vicinity of black holes with a mix of Event Horizon style horror.
Mm-hmm. And some Star Trek style investigation.
You're completely wrong.
Oh, well, that's
unfortunate. It's a terrible plan. No, you are, of course, completely correct. You have scored 1,000,001 points there.
No, I think the fix was in there.
You pretty much got it exactly. Yeah. So there's 23 tracks, one for each level.
Okay.
Original ambient music.
Are they quite long tracks?
It does say each runs for 3 to 5 minutes in length. So I guess you have to put them on.
Yeah, why not?
And it says that there's 23 songs have been produced and could be played during chapters and narration.
Okay.
I assume that means while you're narrating? Or does it include narration? I'm not sure.
I would hope it doesn't include narration, because if you put it on repeat, that's going to get awkward.
I'm assuming this is licensed in some way, because obviously it uses the name D&D and Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Oh, if it's
I assume there's some connection with the Wizards of the Coast.
If it's not from Wizards, who is it?
It's by Marco Mazzei, and it's an Australian chap.
Oh, okay. And do we know when the Kickstarter finishes, or how much he wants
we
to
do.
get in on it?
It ends Saturday, February the 9th.
Okay. So I think that's this coming Saturday.
And you get $20 Australian dollars. So you've saved it at the last minute.
Ah, there we go.
With 1,001 points.
Yeah.
You are now the champion of our favourite game in all the world.
Yeah. I'm both the best and the worst player.
Yes, that is very true.
I embrace this paradox.
And that is it for this week for our favourite game in all the world.
Woohoo! You enter the tavern. It is crowded with travellers from every race, eating, drinking and making merry. A shadowy cloaked figure sits by the fireplace.
Great. We can probably pick up a quest here. Who else can we see?
Well, lots of people. An old man sits at the bar, a halfling's reading a book, and there's a pair of elves having an arm wrestle. You feel like the shadowy figure by the fireplace is watching you.
Okay. I go up to the halfling and ask him what he's reading.
He's reading Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. Anyway, the way the shadowy figure by the fireplace seems untouched by the light of the flames makes him seem even more mysterious. He puffs at his pipe, releasing a smoke ring.
I wonder if that's a code.
Okay, roll on your smoke ring skills.
No, the book. Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. What can that mean?
It's just a book. Look, the shadowy figure pulls off his hood to reveal a weathered ranger with an air of nobility about him. He meets your gaze, pointedly.
Is the halfling still reading?
No, he's talking to you. No, I mean, yes, he's reading. You notice that the ranger's sword looks valuable. It bears the crest of the 8 kingdoms.
I'm talking to the halfling. Have you seen anything strange recently?
The halfling answers, no, not really, except for that mysterious shadowy figure in the corner.
I wonder if his book is secretly a spell book. Can I make a perception check?
It's just a book about fly fishing. The halfling says, I think that ranger wants to talk to you.
Classic distraction technique. What's he hiding? I'm going to slip on my monocle of all-seeing.
Oh, for goodness. A light appears above the ranger's head. It's the word quest in neon. It's flashing.
So, does he still look like a halfling through my monocle?
Fine. I go, no, he's a dragon. He burns down the tavern, eats all the villagers, and breathes fire on you.
I knew it! I draw my sword.
Right, so I guess we're on to the topic of the week. What can we talk about this week?
Ooh, well, what would you like to talk about this week, Peter?
Something that isn't Brexit. That would make me happy, not talking about Brexit.
That certainly narrows it down.
I suppose I should talk about something RPG related.
Right.
You know what I haven't done in ages? I haven't played a really fun sci-fi system. You don't know who knows anything about that, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, and you know what? I'd like to find a really good generic system, one that would let me mix and match different timelines and space and so forth. That's not something you know anything about, is it?
Can't help you, sorry.
Ah, okay. So, what exactly is it that you do anyway?
Today's topic is a little bit self-promoty, but we figured let's figure out a topic that I can actually talk about without having to do any research.
Yeah.
And it turns out that my own book is one of those things.
I did have some questions that I needed to ask Russ about his books and so forth. So it's What's Old is New, which is you got Old, which is a fantasy setting. You got New, which is a sci-fi setting. You've got Now, which is the modern day setting. All 3 books are out. They're all completely cross-compatible.
That they are.
Like, tell me more. How else would you describe them?
I wouldn't call them a generic system as such, because there's certain things they definitely can't do. They couldn't do sort of like high-level stuff very well.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
And things like that. So what they do is those 3 genres as best as they could possibly, as I could possibly focus on each of those 3 genres. So I'm not trying to make it a big old catch-all thing that can do anything. I just want to make it do those 3 things very well.
So modern day action, sci-fi, and fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
So there are other genres out there, and probably you could take a stab at them with What's Old is New, but it's certainly not what I designed it to do.
So no sport for, say, horror or about investigative?
I mean, no, not especially.
Not the main focus of these games.
I mean, it's not like a Gumshoe system, which is designed around investigation.
Yeah, that's pure investigation.
Or Call of Cthulhu, which is designed around horror and things like that.
Yeah, just find out. Try not to look directly at the monster, then being driven insane. Which is, they do different things. Yeah. Or 7th Sea, which is, I guess, fantasy on ships.
Yeah. So What's Old is New is kind of, I think of it as like a mid-crunch game.
Mid-crunch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people call it quite crunchy, but it's a lot less crunchy than I think. I think it's about the same as D&D 5th edition, crunch-wise.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think if you're coming from, D&D to a different system, it can be intimidating because it's different.
Yes.
But if it was your first game, I think it's probably about the same sort of buy-in as D&D is.
Okay.
In terms of the sort of mental overhead.
The amount of investment you have to make in learning rules and so forth. Like you said, like 2014 January did the Kickstarter. Yeah. 995 backers.
2014.
That's what it said on the internet.
That's ages ago.
I know, right?
It doesn't feel that long ago.
Yeah. You said you were inspired by games in the 80s, so you sort of had a design vision.
Yeah.
Is there a core mechanic for what's old is new, or do you favour individual custom subsystems?
There is a core mechanic. So it's a dice pool system using D6s. And essentially the core mechanic is you form a pool of dice based on an attribute and a skill, and then you roll to beat a target.
Okay.
So you have a number of attributes, which are your sort of core characteristics, so strength, agility, logic, charisma, those sorts of things.
Oh, okay. And was it about 6 or 7 of those?
There's 9.
Nine of them. Okay, yeah.
And then you have skills, which are things that you've learned, things you're trained in. That's how they differentiate from the attributes.
Yeah.
So what you do, essentially, when you try and do something, you add an attribute to a skill.
Okay, yeah.
So any attribute can be used with any skill. I mean, I can't think why necessarily you'd combine strength, botany thing, but possibly there is a situation where that might be called for.
You need to do some serious weeding.
Yeah.
There
you go. For example.
Got the flexibility to do that.
Yeah. So in a game where you do have to do some really, really heavy duty weeding,
yes,
the GM might call for a strength and botany check.
Okay, yeah.
So you take your strength, which is say 3d6, and you look at your botany, which is say 2d6, and you go, oh, I get 5d6, and you roll your 5d6.
Okay.
That's basically the core mechanic.
That seems pretty simple. Yeah.
Not many people obviously are going to have the botany skill, but the way the skills work is it's an open-ended list.
Yes.
So basically, if you want a skill in something, if you want to say, oh, I've got a skill in rock climbing, I've a skill in swords, I've got a skill in pistols, I've got a skill in sailing, got a skill in, I don't know, hang gliding, whatever you want, anything can be a skill.
Okay, so you can just...
It's essentially a keyword. A skill is a keyword.
Sort of like a tag, like games like Powered by the Apocalypse and stuff like that. Okay, yeah.
So, if you generally ask the GM, so the GM will say, I'm going to climb this old cathedral. I'm going to climb the wall of this old cathedral. And the GM will go, well, that's going to be an agility check.
Yeah.
And then he'll go, do you have climbing as well as a skill? And you're like, not really, but I do have architecture.
Okay.
Does that make me familiar with like old buildings like this? And whether I can put my weight on gargoyles and things like that. And the GM will go, yeah, fair enough. So we'll have an agility and architecture check, please. So then you'll go, well, I got 3d6 in agility and 1d6 in architecture. I'm running 4d6.
I'd probably chuck a felt tip at them or something. Get out of here with your trying to blag architecture.
Well, it's
it depends on your GMing style, I think. Yeah.
I tend to be a sort of more of a permissive GM. I like to say yes, but possible.
No, I'm more of a projectile based.
Projectile based GM. Yeah. Fair enough.
I blame it on time spent teaching.
So that's basically the core of the system. So it's quite a simple core mechanic.
Okay, yeah. And does the target number differentiate?
The GM sets the target number. I mean, some things have set target numbers. Like if you're attacking someone, their defense score.
Right. So that's sort of a statistic you generate ahead of time.
Yeah. Other target numbers might be an opposed roll, where another creature is going to roll at the same time as you. Whoever gets the highest wins. Or there might be a static target number.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like 10 is like a routine task. 15 is like a challenging one. 20 is a difficult one.
Okay, so it sort of goes up. And what are you looking to roll on the dice then? Or is that just the total on the dice?
Yeah.
Okay, so you roll your pool of d6, so 5d6, and if you get 15 or more, or 10 or more, you succeed.
Yeah, and if you roll 3 sixes, you get a crit.
Critical success. Nice. Okay. That all sounds simple enough. I mean, what's your, your proudest or your most eureka moment when you were working on the design?
Ooh, that's a question.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm asking.
So the bit I like the most, which is a super, super crunchy Starship design system.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's totally, the core game system's quite sort of mid-crunch, on the slightly low, I'd say, mid-crunch. Okay. But you can get this very super crunchy Starship construction manual. Don't need it at all to play the game. You can literally use Starship straight out of the book. You don't need it. But if you do like that sort of thing, and I do.
Yes.
And that comes from my love of Fassa's Starship construction back in the 1980s, the Star Trek.
Fassa? Okay, so was that West End Games? No, Fassa.
No, it was Fassa.
Okay,
that's the name,
Fassa. So Fassa's Star Trek game, which was again like pools of D6 for Star Trek.
No, that was a percentile.
Percentile. Oh, okay, right.
But the Starship Construction Manual basically let you choose your hull type, engine types, and your weapons, and your shield types, and all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
And it was quite a sort of mid-math heavy system, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I liked doing that. Sort of as a teenager, I used to, spend ages designing starships.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so I just thought, just as an optional add-on to this, I'd create my own starship, inspired by that.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I love it, and I just love designing starships with it.
Seems entirely reasonable to me. Who doesn't love designing a starship?
Exactly. And if that does take too long and that is too crunchy for you, there is also online a starship creation app, which you can just go on and do 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Just quickly select your hull size, select your engine, select your weapons, all that sort of things really quickly, and there's your starship.
Do you have a lot of online support for character creation and all that jazz?
Yeah, there's a character builder, the starship builder, as mentioned. There's the entire rules set is available for free online with a rules reference document, which is open gaming content.
Ah, so you've got a system reference document, but
Essentially, yeah.
So that's the bare bones of the rules. There's no.
Yeah, it doesn't include all the examples and all the fluff text or any of that.
Oh, okay,
Basically, the rules there.
Nice.
There.
I guess you got a web presence. So do you then get a lot of community content, community building, that sort of thing?
Yeah, we've got a community content program, which some people have released books under.
Oh, really?
It's similar to the Wizards of the Coast one's called?
DM's Guild, maybe?
Yeah,
DM's
Dungeon
Guild.
Masters Guild. Similar to that, basically. You can release a sort of book, the article, or other product.
Because you've got the Savage DM or something, Savage Guild.
Yeah, there's about a dozen of them now. There's one for the Cypher system, there's one for Traveller, there's one for Savage Worlds, like you just said.
Yeah.
There's loads of them. So yeah, it's one of those.
Any idea how big sort of the what's all his new space is?
Space.
You've got your 3 core books, which do the basic mechanics, and what sort of other settings are there out there?
Oh, I see what you mean. So there's this series of softcover books called the W series.
The W series?
Yes. There's a internal company history behind why it's called that, but they're called the W series. Okay. And each one of these is between 60 and 100, depending on how in depth we go into it. Each one of these contains, for a totally separate genre, an adventure, new careers, equipment, possibly races, and a background material.
Nice.
So each one of them is designed to introduce a new genre to the game. So the first one was, we've mentioned it on the podcast before, was Xenomorphs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So
that basically allowed you to play a Aliens style campaign. Included new careers, new races like the synthetics and things like that, and new monsters like the aliens themselves.
Nice.
And specific equipment.
Yeah. So it's like an adventure you can play through, but with a lot of extra things, so you can expand and use that in your own games, yeah?
So the second one was Dark Decade.
Oh, yeah.
If you think Buffy, but more for grown-ups, and set in a gritty 80s New York.
I think you'll find Buffy is for grown-ups.
Starring grown-ups.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I see, yeah. So it's less Scooby Gang and more if they're grown up in 80s
they're college
New York.
Students.
Right.
That sort of age.
Right, with you. So, yeah, set New York's on the Hellmouth, is it? Or
yeah, sort of, yeah. There's vampires running around New York. A lot of the crime that goes on in New York, because in the 80s it was great.
It's really bad, yeah.
Yeah. All that crime really is vampires and undead and stuff like that. And things like that. So, you don't want to... there's a big vampire lair under the castle in Central Park.
Yeah.
A lot of the subway tunnels have lairs and there's a shadow market. All the undead there, they go and trade and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Run by this demon called Big Daddy.
Okay.
And it's got a couple of new careers in there, like the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, nice.
And the Mentor.
Yeah.
And a couple of new races like the Werewolf.
Ooh.
Stuff like that.
Nice.
So that's a fun sort of setting stroke adventure there. Then we've also got, coming soon, Ghost Breakers, the Spirit of Manhattan.
I see. Would they, when you say they're Ghost Breakers, would they be sort of busting these ghosts?
They'd be breaking these ghosts.
They'd be breaking these ghosts, not busting them. That's a different thing altogether, yes.
There's one called Lower Decks.
Lower Decks?
The Spartan Gambit coming out soon.
Ooh.
So this is...
Galleon-based?
Well, take Star Trek.
Right.
but it's from the point of view not of the bridge officers, but of like who should be sent away team.
Oh, I see.
Rather than the bridge officers.
Right, so rather than send what we would charitably call the main cast.
So the captain in this is probably some distant figure that you occasionally see.
Oh, okay.
You get sent on missions and stuff. And the Spartan Gambit, which is the adventure included in that one, is Die Hard on a spaceship.
I
So
see.
you're on an away mission. You go back to the ship to find out the Spartans, which is a race, a bit Klingon, has taken over the ship.
Awkward.
The bridge crew has been captured.
Okay.
And are hostages. The turbo lifts have all been shut down.
Ooh.
And basically you have to crawl around this sort of Enterprise-sized ship and basically do Die Hard on a spaceship.
You have to die hard your way through 56 levels of spaceship in order to try and rescue the bridge crew and kick off the Klingons.
And the other one that I've recently decided is going to be in the W's. Do you remember I did those random...
Oh, yes, that's right.
Animal things.
Yes.
I've decided to make a settings stroke adventure out of that.
But
that'll be some way. That'll probably be a year or so.
Oh, okay. So TMNT adjacent.
I'm making accidental, anthropomorphic animals or adventurers. Maybe keep them all A's. I don't know. Haven't decided for sure yet.
I think 4A is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, possibly.
Beats AAA every time.
Yeah. So that's the way we're sort of introducing new settings to it.
Okay. With this capability of mixing like all these different genres and so forth, like you're familiar with like the old Appendix N, like from Dungeons and Dragons, because that had some like really crazy stuff in there. Like, I mean, it seems to me like it would be almost perfect to like introduce sort of a fantastic mishmash of things here.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of an equivalent with Appendix N on the website where I say where my inspiration it tends to be less novels and more TV series and movies, but it's still an Appendix N.
Yeah. It seems like a really sort of TV centric thing. Like
let me call up the list. Here we go. Inspirations. So here, this is what I said. So it's in this FAQ down here. So new is inspired by Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, Babylon 5, the Alien franchise, along with some harder science fiction of Asimov, Niven and Clarke.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's all about movies like the 007 franchise, Rambo, Commando, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Mad Max, Indiana Jones, and TV shows like The A-Team, Knight Rider, Charlie's Angels, Buffy, and The $6 Million Man, with a healthy sprinkling of John Woo and Bruce Lee.
Nice.
And finally, old is sort of gritty medieval fantasy of Glenn Cook, the works of David Eddings and Gemmell, Robert E. Howard, Le Guin, Abercrombie, Rothfuss, and of course Tolkien.
Nice. Yeah, but I think I haven't really actually seen that many official settings where it's a fantasy, but it's set sort of almost post-apocalyptically. And so, like, if you wanted to do Thundercats, say, how would you go about doing that?
I suppose you'd be combining old and new together, wouldn't you? It's basically... Thundercats is a bit Star Warsy in a way, I suppose. You have melee weapons with futuristic technology involved in them.
Yeah, and you've got like a thunder tank. You've got
exactly.
The Sword of Omens, which is clear, straight out magic.
And so there's magic combined with So you combine those two, I think.
Yeah, but a lot of it can be explained with sufficiently advanced technology using Clarke's law. Like, Mumra the Ever Living, is he really a sorcerer, or is he just some really crazy old dude who's got a lot of nanites going on?
I think he is a sorcerer.
Well, he'd like to be a sorcerer, but I mean, like I say, with sufficiently advanced technology, it's ambiguous.
Sure.
Yeah, I think. So, I don't know. I suppose you could have the opportunity for your Judge Dredd game to fall back into 80s New York and clean up some vampires.
Sure. I mean, it's all completely compatible.
Yeah, so there's no, like, problems of overpowered or stuff. It's just like, it'll basically bear whatever your fiction will take.
Essentially, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because quite a lot of games that handle different genres, they'll change the rules for the different genres, and I've tried not to do that. So literally, you could take a character one game, stick it in the other, and it works perfectly. There's no... If you think like how they did with D&D and D20 Modern, you couldn't move one from the other very easily. You had to convert them, despite the fact that they both use the D20 system. So there's none of that. It's exactly the same system.
Yeah, okay.
And you can literally take Judge Dredd and whack in Tolkien. Be a bit weird.
he might feel a little out of place, but I don't know.
Yeah. But as the tagline of the game goes, place your wizard on a starship. You can take a wizard from fantasy games, stick him on the bridge of a starship. Works fine.
Judge Dredd nicks a Balrog. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I wonder who would win in a fight between Judge Dredd and a Balrog.
Judge Dredd.
Which ammunition would he use?
I don't know. I'm sure he's got one in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess sort of a follow-up question to like these so you've got like this fantastic range of products and so forth, but surely that makes it quite hard to explain to people, to get new people on board. I mean, who's your like sort of target customer? What is it about What's Old is New that should make people sit up and take notice?
I think probably the target customer would probably be people like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So people who have been gaming for a while and have a sort of twinge of nostalgia for 80s stuff, but want a modern rule set that isn't too light. I mean, the other tagline is rules that aren't so light they'll blow away in the wind. Because I'm not a big fan of super light rule sets where basically it's just improv theatre. I do like a sort of solid rule set.
I suppose like the character creation system. That I think I remember that being really interesting because you sort of
it's a life path system.
Yeah.
So if anyone who's played Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay or who has played Traveller, or with me with life path systems. So life path system, essentially you take careers one after another and these tell you what your character has been doing. So for example, your character, you might say he was orphan.
Yeah.
So that's your first
that's your sort of your base background.
Sort of origin. Then you say then he went to college.
And at each stage they get some skills, or the choice of some skills
and some attributes.
Okay,
and then I don't know. Then he became normally as well, a soldier, and then he left the army and became a police officer, and now he works as a sailor on a really strange career. But you know what I mean.
People live varied lives.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and for like people who've like had a bit more life experience, like myself. I mean, I could build my life in What's Old is New in a way that I wouldn't be able to do in other role-playing game systems.
So when you take each career, each one, it's really simple. So each career, you take your career, so you might go, right, I'm taking sailing. A sailor, sorry. That's my career. And then you look at the sailor career, and it's just like a sort of credits card-sized amount of information. It's not big. And it goes, oh, right, you get +1 strength, +1 agility. I can't remember offhand, I'm making this up. But it's something like +1 strength, +1 agility, probably +1 intuition. You probably have to be perceptive, be a sailor. +1 luck, maybe. I can't remember exactly. And then it also says these skills as well. You get a choice of these skills, and this obviously sailing's going to be in that list. Swimming's going to be in that list.
Climb ropes.
Climbing's probably going to be in that list.
Bit of barroom. Cruising, that sort of thing. Carousing. That's what I'm looking for.
So you get those choice skills, and then you'll get to choose one special ability. And just off the top of my head, because I can't remember to say the career exactly, but I think the careers, the exploits were like one is climb the rigging. Basically means when you climb at your full speed.
The exploits?
Yeah. So climb the rigging would be
what's an exploit?
It's what I just said. And I said you get a special ability called an exploit.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
You have to listen. That's part of the interviewing process.
I am confused by this. You're going to have to go over it again.
So each career, you get a choice of exploits.
Okay, yeah.
So the career might have like sort of 4 or 5 exploits. So you choose one of them. So it just ensures everyone taking the career is.
Okay.
So one might be climb the rigging, for example, which just makes you really good at climbing, and you move your forward and climbing and stuff.
Or you could call it like Top Man or something like that.
Yeah. Or one might be sea legs. Which means you're so used to rolling about on the sea and seasickness doesn't affect you and stuff. You're basically immune to the sick condition. You just don't get sick.
Okay, yeah.
So if someone poisons you with the sick condition, you just go, really used to being sick, I can just ignore it.
I've had worse.
Yeah, exactly, that sort of thing. Or, I don't know, there are a few weird ones as well, sort of like in the spy career, like put in this one which is called monologue, where you could just like make the bad guy just do a little monologue and explain his life, which is straight out of a Bond film. And,
okay, well, it sounds pretty good. You got like the conditions as well, which are, I suppose, an alternative to doing hit point damage.
You do have hit points. Health,
but you got both, so
but
it gives you
also
options.
Get conditions, which you have in D&D. So conditions are a bit like blind, sick, or confused, or forgetful, or dazed, or that sort of thing.
And different levels of those conditions as well, with worsening effects.
Yeah, so as you get hit with a condition more times, it gets worse.
Yeah.
So the first level of dazed is basically lose one action.
Okay, yep.
The second level of days, all you have.
Oh, wow.
Basically, what other ones are there? For
Norse.
example, there's burning, for example.
Burning, yeah.
You set on fire,
Yeah.
and someone hits you with a flamethrower and you end up set on fire,
Yeah.
you're taking 1d6 damage a round.
Oh,
Just at the start of your turn. If they do it again, you're even more on fire, you're taking 2d6 damage a round.
Well, you go from flambe to crispy.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. And then, you can, at the beginning of your round, you can try and shake off conditions. So, if you're on fire, you might decide to roll around on the ground or jump in some water or something.
Oh, okay.
And you get to try and shake it off.
Right with you. Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything else you'd like to tell people about what's old is new?
I quite like the magic system in old, which is intimidating at first glance, but it's actually super simple. It's surprisingly simple. And I'll explain it to you, because you told me that you've been intimidated.
No, I said that I couldn't make it work.
So how it works is this.
Yes.
So essentially, it's a verb-noun system.
Yeah. Because you got
magic has.
Yeah. So you got your magic attribute for your character.
No, that's just how.
So you got your magic skill.
You got your magic attribute, which is just how powerful you are.
Yes.
Essentially, what's your raw magical power? It's your attribute. It's like your strength. It's like your agility. It's just an attribute. It's
just base attribute of your character. Yeah.
And then you have skills in different types of magic.
Yes.
So you might have evocation, have conjure, might have abjuration,
something transmutation. Schools of magic. You can even create your own. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is exactly the same as any other attribute check. If you're doing an arm wrestle, you might combine strength and wrestling.
Okay.
Make a check. If you're casting a fireball, you might combine your magic and your evocations.
Makes sense. Yeah.
If you're enchanting somebody, it'd be magic and your enchantments. So exactly the same mechanic.
Yes.
Identical mechanic.
Yeah.
And that's basically the core of it.
Yes.
The only little addition to that is that there are these things called secret, and they're basically the subjects that you can do magic with.
Yeah, I remember those.
So if you've got the secret of fire, you could do fire-related stuff. If you've got the secret of water, you can do water-related.
Yeah.
So you run a cast of fireball. You take your magic.
Yeah.
Add your evocation.
Yeah.
And make that roll.
Yeah.
And you can do that if you know about fire-related, which is by having the secret.
So you could evoke fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you basically essentially form that into a word. So you take your secrets, which are the subjects that you can, the flavours of magic you can do.
Yeah.
You take your skills.
Yeah.
So you could evoke fire, or evoke water, or evoke ice, depending on what you've got. Or you could abjure fire, abjure water, abjure ice. Or you could create fire, create water. So you've got your verbs essentially in your nouns, and you can combine them any way you like.
Okay.
So all the verbs you've got, all the nouns you've got, combine them any way you want. So you could move wood, or you could abjure metal, or you could evoke.
Evoke plants.
Yeah, or something, or summon beasts.
Yeah, summon beasts. Okay. Summon plants. Summon beasts. Yeah.
So basically, you combine a verb with a noun to make a spell.
Right.
And that's essentially it. And then you just make a magic check with the skill. Okay. So it is actually fairly simple. I think once you've done it a couple of times, you're sort of like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where sometimes you just need to see it in action.
Yeah, I think a lot of people learn by doing rather than doing.
I am very much that way myself.
Yeah.
So.
I think, once you've done it, there you go. It's super simple.
Fantastic. Okay. I don't think I've got any more questions about it, but thanks for talking me through it.
Well, I think you learned something.
It's possible. I can't rule it out.
Yeah. No, I am quite fond of this.
I'm sort of intrigued by the idea of doing some sort of like pan-dimensional craziness with like people sort of doing like maybe a sliders game or Stargate or something. No, just ramshackle bouncing your way through realities. Probably causing more problems than you solve.
So like one week you're in this fantasy medieval adventure, and the next week you're in this Star Trek-y adventure, and the next week you're dealing with the A-Team or something, and and it's just like totally different each time.
But of course the advantage of that is that you wouldn't have to change your rule system each time.
Exactly, so
once people have put the initial investment of learning these rules.
The only slight complication you would get with that is you wouldn't necessarily have the skills to survive in different.
That does sound awkward.
Because if you create a character using entirely fantasy-based skills and stuff, you find yourself in a future setting. You're not going to be able to pilot a shuttle, for example, because you just won't know how to. But the rules are the same.
Yeah, and if you happen to be created like some sort of science fiction pilot and find yourself in a fantasy thing, you're like, well, I guess the wheels go forward.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to pick a lock? Huh? What's that? There's no keypad? What, there's no retina scan?
Where do I plug the auto lock pick in? I don't understand. Hey.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, and also one of the things with the system is you can try anything. Because an attribute check is an attribute plus a skill.
Yeah.
Just because your skill was at 0 doesn't mean you can't make the check. Just means you've got a lower number in it. So technically, fantasy barbarian sitting in a shuttle could actually try and make a sort of logic check to work out how to use it.
That is very 80s movie logic.
He wouldn't have the piloting skill, but, he might, if he has a semblance of intelligence, he might be able to deduce how to make it work. He might be able to look on it, wait a minute, that says start. I'm going to try that.
Just press the buttons and look rather than judgment will guide you through. That's always the way forwards, yeah.
So there you go. That's the What Sold His New system.
Okay, thank you very much for letting me know. Right. Okay, so I guess that brings us to the end of the podcast.
I suppose it is. We're finished for yet another day.
I suppose we could talk about what we've got coming up, because we do have exciting guests.
Because today was so self-promoting. I don't feel too guilty about that, because we have got some guests coming in which are the opposite of self-promoting.
Yeah, well, they'll be promoting themselves, hopefully.
Yes. We won't be promoting ourselves. We'll be promoting them.
We've got Ed Jarrett from Shades of Vengeance.
Yes, we do.
He's got his miniatures Kickstarter he wants to talk about. But we'll be talking more generally, I think, about... Yeah, he's been on before, and it was an absolute pleasure having him. So I suppose we'll be talking about science fiction in general.
We have Sarah Newton of Mindjammer fame.
Yeah.
Novelist and game designer.
It's a potent combination. Be looking forward to that.
That's going to be fun. We've got Chris Spivey.
Or Spivey.
I believe it's Spivey, but I'm sure he'll tell us when we meet him.
It's an important question. We need to find out how to pronounce his name before he gets on the podcast.
Yes.
I feel that's important.
And he wrote
Harlem Unbound.
Yes, which won an Emmy.
Yeah, absolutely gold at the Emmys for being an absolutely fantastic
so we've got some great guests coming on soon. We've got John Dodd later in the year. He's the floor manager at UK Games Expo and one of the directors of Dragon Meet. And he's been involved in convention a long, long time. And we're going to chat to him just about, the challenges and excitement of running and organising a convention.
How do you organise a big convention? Because, let's face it, it's these massive things which can draw people in and really bring the role-playing game community together.
Yeah, so we've got great guests coming on over the next few weeks.
I'm hoping for more. And, dear listeners, if you have any people that you think we should try and speak to, or you can hook us up, give us a shout. We're on the Discord, we're on the email, Twitter as well with Russ.
Yeah, at Morrus.
Yeah, at Morrus. The
Facebook. So many ways you can reach us.
Yes.
So I guess that's it for the week.
Indeed.
So thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, it's going to be goodbye from me, Peter Coffey, Southampton Guild Role Players.
It's goodbye from me, Russ, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What? Oh, is it over? I was taking a nap because they were so boring. I think I'll probably torture Russ a bit this evening, just to amuse myself. Maybe the rack. I'm sure I'd enjoy stretching him out a bit until his bones crack. Maybe it'll improve his terrible posture.